Good evening. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I didn't post that I was going to do a podcast, so I thought it'd be a surprise. Or I just didn't have time to earlier. But anyway, welcome back to Adam's Rambling Podcast. I had posted on last week as well. I also had posted a flash review the previous week. I'm still working on figuring out my screen pitch. I don't know. I kind of had to step away from it for a couple weeks because we had a sketch show and other stuff going on. And so, my mind has, not been able to wrap around it in terms of what the heck to do with it. So, maybe next week I might have that up. We are going to see Indiana Jones tomorrow, so we'll probably do a combined review for that tomorrow. Probably tomorrow night sometime. Yeah, or I might just review it. One of the two. Anna might join me, she might not. I don't know. She's seeing the movie with me, but, you know. We'll see how things go. But, yeah, so today... thought I'd just cover stuff going on in my life. No, nobody cares about that, Adam. Nobody cares. No, anyway. I watched a couple of things recently, so I figured I'd just kind of cover things I've watched recently, and a couple movies and TV series that I watched as of recent. We watched the second episode of Secret Invasion, so that's going along pretty good. I won't do a full spoiler thing on that until the whole thing is over. Then we'll probably do a combined review. Me and Anna will do one. So I won't talk too much about that. It's just say that I do like the tone of it. It's a nice change from the usual tone that we've been getting lately. So a lot less humor, which is fine. You can have some good balance of humor. Yeah, so that's going good. Other things that I've watched recently. I watched this movie Missing a couple weeks ago. It's got the girl that was in that terrible adaptation, Wrinkle in Time, the main girl from that. She's been in a lot of other things too. But she's basically, her mom goes missing and all that. It's the same people who had that Searching movie that had John... What is his name? Oh my God! Why am I blanking? The guy from Harold and Kumar, John Chow. That's right, John Chow. Yeah, where his daughter's missing. It's kind of reversed because the mom goes missing, and then it wasn't bad until the end, and I was kind of yeah, because it was just they had this flashback where you think that the dad is dead from cancer or something, and then it turns out that the mom just lied because he was an abusive asshole and stuff. So it was just okay. Yeah, it was just kind of a boring twist, I felt. So the acting was fine, I guess, and there were some neat things they did with it. But I did like the guy in Brazil. Was it Brazil? I can't remember where she was, but the guy in South America that was checking into things for her. He was fun. I liked him a lot. He was good. But yeah, it wasn't bad. But I just didn't like the ending. I was like, oh well, we could have gone a different route with that. I thought it would be more of an interesting twist that the mom was evil as opposed to just, evil dad. That's okay. Whatever. It's fine. These are the mini cans of Pepsi or real sugar because they didn't have the usual cases. Damn it, Safeway. Damn you! Also eating some pizza here from East Coast Enzo's Pizza. We got that. It's pizza night. Pizza night! No, there's a movie with Harrison Ford. What the hell is it called? Yeah, I come prepared for these all the time. I know exactly what I'm talking about. So, let me look that up real quick. It was set in Seattle. I remember that. Firewall. That's what it was. There's a movie Firewall, but there's a point where he's leaving the meeting. He's just I gotta go. It's pizza night. That gruff Harrison Ford voice that he does, Yeah, the Harrison Ford's for those of you who don't know, Harrison Ford's one of my idols, along with Kurt Russell and Michael Keaton and Paul Giamatti and Willem Dafoe. There's just a lot. John Ritter, John Candy, Phil Hartman. There's a lot of influences. Just people I grew up with that I really liked, amongst many others. But yeah, Harrison Ford point. So yeah, pizza night. And obviously, once again, this is not a sponsor. I'm not going to be one of those things where I break in the middle. And now a word from our sponsor. That's just what I do. I also have some cookies here. I have some cheesecake. I got this bag of M&Ms that Anna got for me. We had our date-iversary last week, which is 21 years that we've been dating. We've been married almost 5, but we've been together for almost 21 years now. So yeah, we had a weekend. I made a mistake in life. It was past Thursday. I had we had ordered out from Red Robin, which was fine. I had mozzarella sticks; they were pretty good. But I said, let's get a dessert. So we got these cookies. They're like this big around. I think they had fudge in them and stuff too. So they're very good cookies, but huge ass cookies. So they're very filling. And I occasionally get acid reflux from stuff. So if I eat too much of something, if I don't eat licorice anymore, but yeah. So I thought we were going to split the cookies, and then Anna's like, oh, I don't want any cookies. I'm like, oh, okay. So, 3 in the morning, right before I go to bed, I'm like, I should eat the rest of these 4 cookies. And then as I'm laying there, I'm like, oh, it's all in my throat, and I'm feeling kind of nauseous. I'm like, I can't sleep now. So I was up for a couple hours. Ended up getting back up because I'm like, well, I can't lay there because, you get that feeling in your throat. It's just awful. And it took a while. Eventually things passed by and stuff. I ended up sleeping most of last Friday, but and then Saturday though we had fun because we went to Pagliacci's. We actually went there and sat down and just ordered by the slice, and then we went over to a place called Menchie's, located in Linwood, Washington. If you're in Washington, highly recommend Froyo. Very good stuff. Yeah, it was fun, and then we had some wine later and stuff like that. So it was a nice evening. And then last Sunday, my other troupe, Applaud Me Daddy, had an improv show, and that was fun. And we went out to this place called the Jupiter in Belltown, and it was a lot of fun. It's a bar, but it's got an arcade. So they got pinball machines and some old arcade games and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun. It'd been a while since I've gotten to play in an arcade. Probably since we went to Portland last year, and there was a similar place in Portland. I also had a drink called the Belltown Blitz, which had 2 kinds of rum in it. And let me tell you, I was buzzing within 10 minutes of drinking it. So I'm sitting there playing the video game woo, all I'm seeing is a blur. But Anna drove, so it was fine. So it was a good anniversary, whatever. But she got me this big ass bag of M&Ms as well as a nice card. And there's something else I got. Did I already? What's the other thing? Oh, and she got me an Amazon gift card, so $25 gift card to Amazon. So that means I can if I want to watch a movie but I don't want to really pay for it, I can use that gift card. So it comes in handy. So that was fun. What else have I done lately? Not a damn thing. Anyway, so I talked about Missing. That's a movie. I watched that. What else did I watch? Oh, I watched Evil Dead Rise finally. I watched that last weekend on HBO Max. And it's, or Max, whatever it's called. I'm calling it HBO Max. I don't care. I'm calling it HBO Max because when I think of Max, I think of Cinemax, and that's not the same thing. So yeah. I watched that. I thought it was a good movie. It was a solid Evil Dead film. It reminded me very much of the remake from 2013 a bit. Obviously, no Ash in there. But I'm kind of I'm sort of at the same token of how I am with Cobra Kai, whereas I feel like Ash the Evil Dead, I kind of got a lot of good stuff with Ash. Not that Ash couldn't come back again at some point, or I know they were talking about doing animation or something like that. But, I think you have to get, much like with Freddy Krueger and Robert Englund and so that, if you're going to continue the stuff, I think you kind of have to go in another direction, or you have to continue with some other characters, because, people aren't going to be around forever, I think that's why that's why Harrison Ford did this last Indiana Jones, is to, finish the game, so to speak. And I'll let you know my thoughts on that once I see it tomorrow, but hopefully it's good. Please be good. Please be good. But yeah, so I think, sometimes it's just like with Cobra Kai, I feel like I've gotten that redemption after that terrible remake they made. That I feel like the Daniel and Johnny and all that, I feel like I've gotten the increase in silver. I feel like I've gotten my, a good fill of it. They're going to have one more season to wrap things up. And they introduce some good characters. Like I said, if they never do any more with it, or those characters, or they're not in the movie. Okay, they want to do some Karate Kid movie with Jackie Chan, whatever. I'm probably not going to watch it anyway, but unless I hear good things. But I feel like I've gotten my fill. So that's the same thing I feel with Evil Dead. But I thought it was well handled. I liked the thing where like the demons kind of combine, almost like the Thing a little bit. That was interesting. But yeah, very bloody, as Evil Dead movies are. Yeah, I wasn't sure with the opening thing. I'm like, well, how is this gonna? Because I didn't see those characters in the thing. I'm like, well, how's this gonna tie in? And then I'm like, oh, okay. Then of course it ties into the end. But yeah, so like, I think it was set up well. I thought it was a pretty good movie. So I highly recommend Evil Dead Rise. So check that out. Also, I watched the movie Run, Rabbit, Run, which has Sarah Snook from Succession. And it's a slow burn, I'll say that much. It's not bad, but it's definitely a slow burn in terms of like figuring out what the hell is going on here. I will say that the kid actress wasn't bad acting-wise, but there were moments where I was just like, oh my god, you're annoying. I mean, kids can be annoying. It is what it is. I mean, adults can be annoying too. So, as you know. But clearly, as you're seeing in front of your camera. So yeah, no, I thought she was decent, but like if you ever seen The Babadook, oh my god, if you ever want to see the most annoying child ever, watch The Babadook, because you will literally sympathize with the mom wanting to strangle her kid. But then again, you also sympathize with that kid shoving his cousin out of the tree branch because she was a little brat. So it's like I don't wish harm on kids in real life. I would hope that they don't ever get hurt or harmed in a bad way. So I'll make that clear. But kids in movies, sometimes you're just like, man, I don't wish harm on kids, but sometimes, man, some kids are rats and they got it coming. Yeah. Like that kid in Poseidon. Like there was that Poseidon remake that had Kurt Russell in it. And like that dumbass kid went swimming and then Kurt Russell went to like rescue him and then Kurt Russell drowned. So fuck that kid. Justice for Kurt Russell, goddammit. You fucked it up. So yeah. Anyway. Where was I? Oh yeah, but it's a decent movie. It's the twist is pretty obvious in terms of where you're going with it, but you don't know fully until the end what exactly happened. It's basically like she keeps mentioning her sister, and you're not sure what happened to her sister, or where her sister is, and her mom has dementia, and her father's passed. And I thought it was pretty good, though. It was interesting hearing Sarah Snook in her actual like Australian accent. But there are even moments where like she'd make a face, and I'm like, oh, there's the Shiv. There's Shiv's face from Succession. But no, I thought it was solid. Solid watch. Not the best horror movie, but definitely definitely more of a slow burn. Slow burn. That's like not so much a big scare. No, not really jump scary, which is fine. You don't need to be jump scary, but like, yeah. In terms of more like horror, I think Evil Dead Rise is more your game. In terms of gore and things like that. So it depends on what type of horror you're in. If you're interested in just a nice slow burn, Run Rabbit Run on Netflix. Also, after I watched Evil Dead Rise, I came across a show called Vice Principals, which I never heard of. It was from the same people who did Eastbound and Down and who run the Righteous Gemstones, which is also back. Righteous Gemstones is back. I've been watching the first couple episodes of that. I'll do a full review of that when that season is over too. But yeah, enjoying it. It's funny because it's like before I get to Vice Principals, let me roll back to that in a minute. But it's funny because like I'm like first episode I'm like, huh, that woman looks familiar. I'm like, oh, it's the woman from Third Rock from the Sun that played the tall lady. I'm like, holy crap, and that's Steve Zahn. Holy crap, yeah. It's like I love that when you just watch a show and you're like, oh, that person. I haven't seen them in a while. But yeah, Vice Principals. Yeah, it was only 2 seasons, but basically. It's Danny McBride and Walton Goggins, and they're both vice principals at their like high school. And like Bill Murray actually is the principal, but like he's retiring because his wife is sick and all that stuff. And so the both of them are trying to like lobby to take his principal position. But then this African American woman ends up being named the principal. But then they decide to work together to try to undermine her and get her out of there somehow. But then, meanwhile, there's, untrusting of each other as well. it was interesting because like the girl who plays the sister on Righteous Gemstones was one of the teachers on there, and she's kind of like, yeah, obsessed with Danny McBride's character and stuff like that. So it's just like it's kind of funny seeing that dynamic of them hooking up. I'm like, oh, but you guys are like brother and sister on the other show. That's weird. Yeah, Walton Goggins is great, man. He's fun, you know. And Danny McBride is like he's not the most multifaceted actor, but he feels like a better version of Seth Rogen. Like, as in, I'd rather see Danny McBride than Seth Rogen in a movie, because he at least gives his all in the characters he does. His characters are very similar, I will say that, but I don't know. I just find the guy much more entertaining. Like Seth Rogen was Seth Rogen, you know. Although I did like Zack and Mary Make a Porno. That's probably my favorite Seth Rogen one. Honestly, was that one. And I like his work on The Boys. At least, you know, behind the scenes stuff is fine. But I don't know. Seth Rogen Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong voice. Just like he's not even trying. Like to me, that's what I don't like about A-list actors doing the voiceover roles. Is that like it used to be that you'd have voice actors and you'd have film actors, and like now it's just like let's get that A-lister to do this, but then that A-lister doesn't, unless they're really talented, don't even make an effort to sound any different than their normal voice. And it's like, but you're not yourself, you're playing Donkey Kong, so you should probably give an effort as opposed to, hey, I sound like a stoner 24/7, you know. It's just like, that's what I don't like. It's like, let voice actors be voice actors, you know. It's like that'd be like Mark Hamill if he just like immediately sounded like Luke Skywalker while he was doing the Joker, you know. It'd be like, oh, that's Luke Skywalker. It's like he actually made an effort, and you know, so I don't know. That's one thing that bugs me is voice actors not, you know, just being voice actors sometimes. Like Alan Oppenheimer, the voice of Skeletor and Cobra from G.I. Joe, amongst others, and like they gave him like Mossman voice for like the He-Man one, and they're like, and then his character's dead. Thanks for coming out, Oppenheimer. It's like, what the fuck? So hopefully he'll get more voices in the follow-up. I did end up liking that show, though. Masters Universe Revelations. Yeah. I wasn't sure at first, but, like, once I finished it, I'm like, okay, I see what they were doing. I see what they were going with. I think had I seen it as a whole, like, as opposed to having it half and half, I think I probably would have not had any kind of reservations about it, you know, other than Tila's stupid haircut. But they rectified that, so it's all good. All good. But no, Vice Principals, it was 2 seasons, and it was pretty solid. Good comedy, good drama. Yeah, and their characters kind of go through an arc and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought it was a solid show. Eastbound and Down, I think, is a more full story, but the guy who was his sidekick on there was also on this show, so like, hey, that guy. But yeah, and Righteous Gemstones is just great. You know, much better use of John Goodman than the fucking Connors. I've already ranted about the Connors many times, just how unfunny it is. That's the only new character like they've introduced, that like the guy who dates Darlene. I think he's pretty good, but like it just, everything else is just dramatic, just like for dramatic's sake, and there's nothing that's really funny. It's just like, this isn't funny. This isn't funny anymore. This is a waste of Laurie Metcalf and John Goodman, and pretty much everyone involved in this show is being completely wasted. But at least John Goodman says it seems like they're wrapping up after this season. So I'm like, good. They probably should have wrapped up about 3 seasons sooner. But, and I don't know, like I said, Roseanne deserved what she got, but they should have just wrapped it up. You know, you had your revival. It was nice. Okay, that's done now. You know, that's why revival should be somewhat short-lived, as opposed to dragging it out for 6 or 7 seasons, because then it's just like, or 10 seasons. It's like, oh my God, can we end this show already? Like SVU, like seriously, like I like the cast, all that stuff, but like, holy crap, 25 fucking years of sexually based crimes. How many crimes can you do? It's like, can we just wrap it up already? The original Law and Order went off the air before this one did. Good God. Yeah. Also, in sad news, Hollywood news, Alan Arkin passed today. Well-known actor. He's been in a lot of movies and TV stuff. He was also in the last thing I saw him in, I think, was Kaminsky Method with Michael Douglas. That was a good show. I know some people don't like Chuck Lorre stuff, but that was a solid show. I felt good acting and stuff in it. He was also in Argo. He was funny in that. Argo, fuck yourself. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, but a truly talented actor, and he will be missed. Also, wrestling news, Darren Drozdov also passed. For those who don't remember Droz, he was paralyzed in the ring several years ago and had worked kind of on their social media and the computer behind the scenes stuff for a while. But he has sadly passed as well. So rest in peace to both those gentlemen. And yeah, what else is going on, Adam? What else have you watched? I haven't watched anything else really, have I? Nothing else I can do. I could talk political things or like Supreme Court stuff, but as I said, I've tried to say apolitical on here, but screw it. I'll cover a few more minutes anyway. Yeah, these Supreme Court decisions suck. It's like basically they cut out the affirmative action thing, so basically, but not legacy though. If you're a rich white person and you want your daughter or son to go to college, hey, that's all good. But if you're not, well, yeah, screw your plan. Just I won't get into a whole big thing about it, but it's just like between that and then the student loan thing, and then like, the stuff with the Christian lady and her refusal to I don't want to serve gay couples. Like, well, then don't have a business. I mean, you're as a business you have a right to refuse people, but refuse them because of like, hey, this person's an asshole, not this guy's against my beliefs. Like, they're not hurting anybody. They're just living their life, and you're a graphic designer. Who cares? They're paying you the same money as a straight person would pay you. So like, you're still making your money. So what are you worried about? I don't know. It's just like, so if it's a gay web designer, can he also refuse a straight couple or a straight Christian couple because he doesn't believe in what they believe in? Oh, sorry, that's right. It's just for rich, straight, white Christian people. If you didn't know, guys, I'm agnostic. So like I said, I have no problem with someone who's a legitimate practicing Christian, like my late Aunt Carol was, who actually treats people with respect, who actually uses it to do good in the world and, pay it forward. But I have no respect for those who use it for hatred of others. And that's kind of what this is. And the Supreme Court, I think, is a joke right now. I think there's a lot of corruption on that thing, a lot of bias on it. And a lot of those people shouldn't be in their seats. I think it's really a thing of like, maybe we should start having term limits on Supreme Court stuff. I think we should have term limits on Supreme Court. I think we should have term limits on Congress and Senate. We have term limits on presidents. Why can't we have it on the other stuff, But that'll probably never happen because, capitalism. But yeah, I'm not saying I'm the most well-rounded, intelligent person on politics, and I fully admit that. I'm just a comedy guy. But yeah, I don't know. It just disgusts me because I think at the end of the day, we're all people. We all bleed the same blood, and whether you choose to date a person of the same sex or you are non-binary or whatever, like, you deserve to have basic human rights and be treated with respect. And, just as if you're a Christian and stuff like that. Like I said, I have lots of friends and family who are Christian, but they're good Christians. They're good people who are still loving of people, as opposed to like, well, I don't agree with your lifestyle. Well, they don't need you to agree with their lifestyle. They just need you to treat them with basic respect, because that's what's called being a human being is. It's like, you don't have to like it. You don't have to be. I'm not asking you to watch them have sex or something. It's like, good God, they don't want you to watch them have sex. It's like, or just as they wouldn't want to watch you. It's like, just let people be. Let people be themselves and let them be happy. What harm? I don't understand why it even harms anything. Oh, well, the Bible says blah blah blah. Well, the Bible ain't the law of the land, people. It's a book. It's a book to try to teach you to be a good person, but like, the problem is so many people take so much stuff out of context and don't really read it, much like they don't read amendments half the time. They just pick their little, they pick and choose things that they toll out of it to fit their narrative of what they want to say that they're being oppressed of. So, yeah. And I know I'll probably get some hateful comments from some trolls on here. I don't really care. Whatever. I'm not going to acknowledge you. I don't really care. Like I said, I'm trying to stay apolitical here, but sometimes it's just, stuff disgusts me. And, I'm more independent than I am full-on liberal, but I'm definitely more liberal than I will ever be conservative, because I just, unfortunately, and I have friends that are conservative, and that's fine, but there's a difference between being conservative and being a complete moron, and just basic human decency. And I think there's too much of this like hatefulness out there for people who are different than you, and whether that be by race or gender or whatever, or sexuality, whatever. It's like just there's too much hate out there, and it's just like why go through life that way? It's like I just try to treat everybody with respect. Is everyone gonna be nice to you? Probably not. No. There's times you're walking in the store and someone just cuts you right off and doesn't say excuse me. Yeah, it's annoying. But that doesn't mean that you should be like, oh, well, that means everyone that looks like this or acts like this is the same way. It's like, no. Anybody in any community or generation can be a fucking asshole. Or be a creep or whatever the case. So it's like, I think you just have to I always take everything case by case, It's like, I may have had a bad interaction with this person that looks like this, or acts like this, but that doesn't mean that every single person that looks or acts like this is the same. And that's the problem we have with the hatred, is that people will just like hate people because they had a bad experience with someone of a certain color or a certain gender or a certain whatever. And that's stupid. That's fucking stupid. We've all had bad interactions. We've all dealt with assholes. It is what it is. But, I think you just have to rise above that shit and just be like, yeah, that person there was an asshole and I don't really want to interact with them anymore. But hey, this person over here is pretty cool. It's just like, but yeah, I don't know. It bothers me. Because like I said, I have a lot of friends who are, belong to the LGBTQ plus community. Words are hard. Letters are hard. So yeah, it makes me feel bad for them. It makes me feel bad for my African American friends too. That it's like, let's just make sure we roll back as many opportunities, or anything to balance the scales, of how we've treated people. And it's like, make sure we don't teach any history on what we've actually done to people. Let's not do that, DeSantis. But yeah, imagine having to live in Florida, or Texas, or any of those other backwards ass states. But I digress. Let me get off as my wife would say, or my dad would say, let me get off my soapbox. Yeah, so anyway, guys, I'm not sure someone will comment down below or be like, or call me a libtard or some other stupid thing. Whatever. I don't care. I just basically believe in human decency and treating each other with respect. And treating animals with respect, too. So, don't go trophy hunting and stuff. Because, screw you. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, speaking of trophy hunting, how about that Kraven the Hunter trailer, huh, guys? Huh? Yeah. Lion blood. What the hell? Oh, Sony, I may have come in the last time, but holy crap. That trailer, it's just like, what are you doing, Sony? Just stop. Just stop. And like I said, I've never been a huge Kraven the Hunter fan just because I despise trophy hunters. But I guess in terms of a villain, that would be fine because people don't like trophy hunters. So, making him a villain. I mean, there's a little bit more nuance to the character at least, but he's never been my favorite Spider-Man villain or anything. So, I mean, the casting's fine, but I don't know. It just feels like, what the hell? Like Russell Crowe's character was acting a hell of a lot more like a Kraven the Hunter than the actual Kraven the Hunter. So, I don't know. We'll see how things turn out, but I'm just kind of like, this Sony universe is just such a disaster. It's just like, just stick to your animation and video games, guys. That seems to be where your forte is at. Anyway, I'm just rambling on now, so I'm gonna wrap things up. I don't want to go on too long. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you didn't, okay. That's fine. Just don't like it. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So anyway, I'll be back with the Indiana Jones review tomorrow, and I'll try to work on a screen pitch thing to finish that up so I can move on to other pitches. Because I would like to get back to the pitches because those are fun. But the last couple of weeks it has been between a sketch show and an improv show, and just lots going on. It's the summertime, you know how it is. So anyway, guys, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.